2011 Ultimate Builder Custom Bike Show in Washington, D.C. We're speaking with Jeff Geisbert of Old Glory Speed Shop. Jeff, take a moment and give us a little about your background.
I started out in a Harley Davidson dealership about 7-8 years ago. I've loved bikes all my life, loved building on them and tinkering, and through the years it's just kind of brought me to this level by chance.
Let's start from the beginning. What were you trying to accomplish with this build?
Basically, I like a street glide. I think it's a great riding bike. It's got good lines to it, a good look, a good basis for a build. And I just want to come out with something that's got a bit of a California feel to it, but yet is still, has the East Coast mind about it as well.
What was your vision for this bike?
As far as vision is concerned, I wanted something that was out of the norm as far as all the other bikes I've seen, bagger-wise, a little bit stretched out, delving into the world of chopper with, a lot of comfort.
What was your inspiration on this?
I have to say my inspiration is the entire Ness family inspired me to do it. Arlen's a great guy. Corey and Zach Ness are wonderful people. And they've kind of been a mentor of mine, and I just love the way his designs and styling, so I've got a lot of my inspiration from him.
Let's talk about the fabrication. Let's start there.
Okay, pretty much it's a fairly simple build, and the fact that it's a stock modified. It's got a rake triple tree on it. It adds 4.5 degrees worth of rake. It's a pretty chunky, hefty piece. We have the stretch bags on it as well. The filler panel and the rear fender is done by Ness, and it's pretty much something you can buy. Needs a little bit of modification, so there is some fabrication that had been done to the bike in order to get it to where it is right now.
What about the engine? What have you done on that?
The engine is a 103. In 2011, Harley Davidson came out with a package that you could do a 103 in, which I chose to go with. It boosts the motor up, but yet keeps the cost down a little bit for selling the bike in the future.
How much time and money do you think you have in the engine?
In the engine alone, I'm going to say there's probably about $2.5 grand in the engine. Time-wise, as well as I said, it's fairly stock from the manufacturer, but with the stage 1 upgrade that we did on it, there's a little bit of time involved in that as well.
Let's talk about the front end at this point. What have you got there, starting with the wheels?
The wheel's a 23-inch wheel by Ness, wrapped around with a Ness fender. It's, like I said, it was raked out by 4.5 degrees on the bike.
And then the rear wheels are by Ness also, I assume.
The rear wheel is to match the front one. It's an 18-inch wheel, done by Ness, wrapped in, we used Avons as far as the rubber for it.
What was your approach on paint?
I sat down before a few people in the dealership where I work at Old Glory Speed Shop, and we discussed colors, and I didn't want to go too bright, but yet I wanted to give it a little bit of that California style to it. So between me and the painter and my paint design guy who does a lot of the sketches for us, we came up with this design. And we had to build the bike 3 different times in order to get the lines to match up with the saddlebags all the way up through the fuel tank, as you can see.
Well, that tank looks like you got a wave, California wave breaking over it.
Yes, sir.
You accomplished that very nicely.
Yeah, thank you.
What companies were instrumental in getting this bike finished?
My hat goes off to basically our speed shop and the Ness family. Arlen Ness, the Whirled of Color is the painter that we use. Good personal friend of mine. We work hand in hand. He really pulled out all the stops and worked really hard to get it here today. The final throws, a bit like biker build off with poor Tim, our painter, working throughout the night to make sure it's ready and done with excellence.
Anybody else you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank Steve Scalia to give me the chance to do this. I'd like to thank Zach Ness for helping me out with the project and making sure I got my parts and things here in time, as well as the whole Ness family. I'd like to thank Chris Zimdor for helping me with the paint, and of course Tim for the Whirled of Color, Tim Lewis.
If somebody'd like to get a hold of you, do you have a phone number?
Yes, sir, I do. You can get a hold of me at 410-802-8068.
Jeff, thank you very much.
Thank you.